Hello everyone, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning and how are you today? I hope you are always healthy and happy. On this occasion, I would like to provide material related to the existing norm in Indonesia. But before that, for the beginning of our activity, we pray first. Start praying. Okay, done. And then next, so it's not too stiff, let's warm up, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Finally, the body becomes much fresh. This warm up, I'm so that we don't get stressed before starting lesson. And before entering the material, I want to know first, do any of you know what norm are? Wow, good job! And then your answers are all correct. It looks like you already understand what norm are. Norm is a basic rule that we must have in life, especially social life in society. Okay. Next. Then I will go into material related to norm and justice. Where the earth is tapped, there the sky is upheld. It is a proverb that comes from West Sumatra. This saying accurately describes our obligation to obey the rules or laws that live in society. By obeying the law, a safe, orderly, serene, and peaceful life, as we have always longed for, will be created. And then, as citizens, we should be grateful to God because our nation is a great nation. However, many of us have not followed the norm, and then on the highway, especially in big cities, and we can see the cause of motorists fighting each other for the road. They often break traffic rules sometimes. The question is, will violating these rules be tolerated, and even if you break with the rules yourself? Therefore, as the nation next generation, okay, it should understand what norms are and how do norms govern social life. For that, let's study the description of the material norms that apply in community life. The first discussion, norm in community life. Okay, in social life, difference in interest can lead to disputes, division, and even lead to chaos. Therefore, to avoid conflict due to difference in interest, a living order is needed in the form of rules in social life in society. This life order is usually called a norm. Norms are formed to protect human interests so that order and peace can be released in people's life. And then, each community group has a different cultural style and character. Therefore, the rules or norms that apply in each society are certainly different. Basically, norms are a way of life that affect human behavior in social life. If it can also be interpreted as a rule of provision that regulates the life of community members, use a guide, order, and behavior control. Okay, and then next discussion, number 2, kind of norm. Obscenity. The norm of decency are the rules of life regarding the whisper of the human heart and consistence. The presence of this norm coincides with the birth of existence of the human being itself, regardless of gender and ethnic of the people. The human voice of consistence always tells the truth and cannot be deceived by anyone. And then B. Norm of courtesy. The norm of politeness are norms related to human interaction in everyday life. Because the norm of politeness comes from the system of life or culture in the form of the people. Habits in regulating the life of their group. Humans as social beings have a tendency to interact or associate with other humans in society. And then C. Religion norm. Religion norms are a set of rules or regulations for human life, whose source is from God revelation. Religious followers believe that what is regulated in religious norm comes from God, who was conveyed to his prophets and messengers to be disseminated to all mankind in the world. Understanding the source of religion norm that come from God makes people try to counter attitude and behavior in life and life. Because every human being must carry out God's command and live that he forbid. Example of the implementation of religion norms include order to carry out worship in accordance with religion teachings. And then the legal norm. Legal norms are regulations regarding human behavior in social interaction and are made by official state bodies and are corrective in nature, so that order and prohibition in legal norm must be obeyed by the community. Therefore, in the daily life of law conference and first, such as police, prosecutors, and judges can force someone to obey the law and impose sanction of lawbreakers. Legal norms also regulate other life, such as prohibition of committing crimes and violation, prohibition of committing corruption, prohibition of destroying forests, and obligation to maintain forests, and the obligation to pay taxes. And then next discussion, the importance of norm in achieving justice, so that there are these differences do not cause division and disorder in society. Rules or norms are made. The function is of the rules in social include number 1, goodness in conduct, and 2, maintaining the harmony of community member, and number 3, social control system. The behavior of community member is monitored and controlled by applicable regulation. And then the values of justice that must be manifested in life together are follows distributive justice, namely a relationship of justice between the state and its citizen, in the sense that the state party is obligated to fulfill justice in the form of sharing justice, in the form of welfare assistance, subsidies, and opportunities to live to live together based on right and obligation. And then B, legal justice, namely the relationship of justice between citizen against the state, and the citizen party is obligated to fulfill justice in the form of obeying the prevailing laws and regulations. And then C, communicative justice, which is a relationship of mutual justice between citizens. And then sentencing scientifically has the basis of justification, namely for the following purpose, yaitu it is a retribution for mistake, then detention, rehabilitation, because it can no longer make mistake, and isolation in the preparator to prevent him from committing mistake that endanger other. Okay, and then the next discussion is behavior according the norm in everyday life. The norm of decency, politeness, and legal norm will be in harmony if their implementation is based on the values of the one Godhead. Self-awareness of the important purpose and function of norm in life will encourage a person to get used to obeying the prevailing norms. The emergence of self-awareness to comply with the norm in social life must be accustomed from an early age. Therefore, it would be nice if you cultivate the following attitude and culture. And then science culture, namely embracement when breaking the rules. Number 2, culture of order, which is getting used to being orderly. And then number 3, clean culture, namely the attitude to say and behave honestly and cleanly. Number 4, from dirty action, for example, not cheating on tests or exams. In everyday life, there are still many behaviors that are not obedient or to norm. There are several reasons for low awareness of adherence to norm in the life, namely as follows. 1. Personal factor, namely related or traits and character in oneself, those who do not have the awareness to obey the rules. And then number 2, environmental factor, namely the influence of the living environment, but family and society, which have not provided the carrying capacity for the formation of a character to obey the rules. For example, due to lack of attention for parents, association with poorly behaved peers, or living in a disorganized and slum environment. Wow, I don't feel like my explanation has been complete. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you understand the material that I convey, okay? Thank you, see you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.